The moment I woke up, I knew two things at once. First, I was still alive. Second, I had already been betrayed. The hospital ceiling above me was cracked like broken ice. The fluorescent light flickered, buzzing like an insect trapped inside glass. My body felt hollow on one side, as if someone had scooped out a part of my soul along with my kidney. A tube snaked from my abdomen into a plastic bag filled with red-tinged fluid. Every breath burned. Every heartbeat felt heavy, foreign, and wrong. But worse than the pain was the silence. There was no hand holding mine. No familiar face. No comforting voice. Only the steady beep of a heart monitor and the faint cries of another patient behind a curtain. I closed my eyes, and for a second I saw my husband's face as it had been 3 days earlier. Lucas Arden. Tall, polished, perfectly groomed, with a voice that could sell lies like love. He had knelt beside my hospital bed before the surgery, his hand trembling over mine. "Rhea, you're my miracle," he had whispered. "My mother's only chance. If she lives, it will be because of you." I believed him. I believed everything. Because before Lucas, my life had been nothing but survival. I grew up in the south side of Chicago in a house that smelled like old cigarettes and boiled cabbage. My father left before I could even remember his face. My mother worked 2 jobs, came home exhausted, and still somehow found the strength to braid my hair at night. When I was 16, she died of a stroke. I became an orphan overnight. No relatives came. No inheritance. No safety net. I bounced between foster homes until I aged out at 18. I worked as a waitress, then as a cashier, then as a night cleaner at a law firm downtown. Eventually, I took night classes and earned an associate degree in medical billing. It wasn't glamorous, but it was stable. That was where I met Lucas. He came into the clinic one afternoon to pick up his mother's records. Armani suit, shining watch, eyes that glinted like polished steel. He spoke to everyone with soft authority, like the world naturally bent around him. When he looked at me, he smiled in a way that felt chosen. "Are you always this calm under pressure?" he asked as I handed him the file. "Only when panicking won't help," I replied. 2 months later, we were married. Small courthouse wedding. No guests. No flowers. No photos. His explanation was simple. "My mother hates attention. She's very traditional." I didn't question it. I wanted family more than spectacle. But Lucas's mother, Margaret Arden, never accepted me. To her, I was a charity case in silk. She called me street girl behind my back. She complained about my accent, my clothes, my background, even the way I laughed. Still, I endured it. I cooked. I cleaned. I cared for her when she started feeling weak. Then came the diagnosis. End-stage kidney failure. Doctors said she had months, maybe weeks. Lucas sat beside her hospital bed one night, his face pale and desperate. Then he turned to me. "Rhea, you're a match." My blood ran cold. A kidney donation isn't a small thing. It is permanent. Dangerous. Life-altering. But Lucas pressed me relentlessly. "You're my wife. This is what family does." He promised a luxury recovery. Private suite. Personal nurse. Trip to Santorini. I signed the consent forms in a blur of exhaustion. 3 days later, my kidney was removed. And now I was lying in a crowded public ward, abandoned. The door finally opened on the 4th day. Lucas walked in first, immaculate in a navy suit. Beside him stood a woman in champagne-colored satin, tall, elegant, eyes sharp like glass. A diamond glinted on her finger. Behind them, a nurse pushed Margaret Arden in a wheelchair. Lucas dropped a thick brown envelope onto my chest. "Divorce papers. Filed 3 days ago." The same day I was on the operating table. My hands shook. "Why?" I whispered. Margaret leaned forward, eyes gleaming with cruel satisfaction. You were never my daughter, she sneered. You were a resource. The woman beside Lucas stepped forward. I'm Ilara Knox, she said smoothly. Lucas's real partner. We've been together for years. She placed a hand on her stomach. And this is the air you were never meant to carry. The room felt like it was collapsing inward. Lucas tossed a stack of cash onto the bedside table. $20,000. Take it and disappear. Something inside me shattered. Before I could respond, the door burst open. Drive. Hamilton Reeves stepped inside, white coat crisp, eyes burning. What is happening here? He demanded. He took one look at my monitor, then at Lucas. You are terrifying a patient 4 days post-nephrectomy. Lucas straightened. Family matter. Dr. Reeves didn't flinch. I'm afraid your mother's transplant was cancelled. Silence exploded in the room. Margaret gasped. Lucas went pale. Her final tests showed a severe heart infection, Reeves continued. Proceeding would have killed her on the table. Lucas stammered, then the kidney? Dr. Reeves turned cold. When a primary recipient is deemed unfit, the organ goes to the next person on the National Registry. My chest tightened. Who? I whispered. Dr. Reeves looked directly at me. Elias Calder. The name hit like lightning. Billionaire tech founder. Philanthropist. Mysterious recluse rumored to be dying. Lucas staggered back. Dr. Reeves turned to me gently. Mr. Calder has requested to meet you. Immediately. Lucas suddenly panicked. Rhea, baby, forget the divorce. We were stressed. It was a misunderstanding. I ripped my hand away. Security, I said calmly. Within minutes, Lucas, Margaret, and Ilara were escorted out. I was moved to an executive suite with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Lake Michigan. That night, a man named Marcus Hawk, Calder's chief aide, told me, all your medical expenses are covered. And Mr. Calder intends to thank you personally. 3 weeks later, I met Elias Calder. He was in his late 60s, sitting on a rooftop garden wrapped in a blanket, eyes sharp despite his illness. So you are the woman who gave away a piece of herself, he said quietly. I didn't look away. He studied me like a chessboard. I lost my granddaughter 5 years ago, he continued. You remind me of her. Strong. Unbreakable. Used by the world. He leaned forward. Money alone won't save you. Power will. Then he offered something shocking. Legal adult adoption. Not as a child. As my heir. I stared at him. Why me? Because you don't break, he said simply. You sharpen. I accepted. Over the next 6 months, my life became brutal training. 5 a.m. physical therapy. 7 a.m. breakfast with Elias discussing markets and politics. 9 a.m. classes in corporate law, negotiation, and strategy. 4 p.m. real boardroom meetings. I transformed. No more soft girl. No more victim. I cut my hair. Traded cheap clothes for tailored suits. Learned to speak like power. Meanwhile, Elias's lawyers uncovered something devastating. Lucas had secretly transferred multiple properties into my name during our marriage to avoid taxes and lawsuits. A warehouse in Detroit. A luxury condo in Midtown Chicago. Even his family mansion. By filing for divorce without asset division, Lucas had legally forfeited them all. My lawyer smiled. Sign quietly. Say nothing. I did. Then we set the trap. We created a shell investment company, Phoenix Capital. No visible link to Calder. Lucas was drowning in debt. His textile company was failing. His mother's medical bills were crushing him. We invited him to a gala. On stage, Elias introduced the new CEO of Phoenix Capital, Rhea Calder. I descended in a black silk gown, diamonds at my throat. Ilara dropped her glass in shock. Lucas froze. Then he rushed to me. Rhea, it's me. I looked at him coolly. "Mr. Arden, I've read your file. Come to my office Monday." On Monday, my analysts tore his fake financials apart. Still, I offered him a $2 million loan. Convertible. Secured by all his assets. Targets impossible. He signed immediately. 2 weeks later, my team delivered another file. Alara was cheating. Security footage. Bank transfers. Hotel videos. And the pregnancy? Not Lucas's. Basic blood genetics proved it. 3 months later, federal agents walked into Lucas's office. Fraud. Wire fraud. Bank fraud. He fled to the hospital to see his mother. There, he found Alara stuffing jewelry into a suitcase. "I'm leaving before the feds come," she sneered. I entered behind them in a white suit. Calm. Untouchable. I scattered photos across the floor. Alara with her lover. Money trails. D&E records. Lucas slapped her hard. She screamed back, "You're worthless. Your mother is dead weight." Then I played the recording from our dinner. Lucas's voice filled the room. "I'll put my mother in a nursing home. She's a burden." Margaret's heart monitor went wild. She reached toward me. "Help me, daughter." I looked at her hand. "My kidney was a gift of love," I said coldly. "But you are not my mother." The monitor flatlined. Lucas collapsed in tears. 2 days later, at Margaret's funeral, agents arrested him by the grave. As they led him away in handcuffs, he saw my black Mercedes idling nearby. The window slid down just enough for our eyes to meet. No hatred. No joy. Only closure. Then the window rose. And I was gone. 1 year later. I stood at my parents' graves in Chicago. Fresh flowers. Clean grass. Quiet wind. I now funded medical treatments for abused spouses. I paid legal fees for women trapped in exploitative marriages. I built safe housing for foster kids aging out of the system. The scar on my side had faded. Not a wound anymore. A mark of survival. Footsteps approached behind me. Dr. Hamilton Reeves. Not on a lab coat this time. Just jeans and a jacket. "Mr. Calder says you have a board meeting tomorrow." "I know," I smiled. He hesitated. "Dinner? No hospitals. No billionaires. Just real food." I studied him. Then nodded. We walked together as the sun dipped low over the skyline. Darkness came. But dawn would follow. And so would I.